I know everybody likes to boast that they love the safety car, but this is why it's a pain in the ass, just so everybody's aware.
Jilpin, do you know your right to left?
How do we have another caution?
Oh no, something is not being configured correctly. Another full course yellow. We're gonna be here for a while, Jim.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Lorenzo Araujo. About 3 months ago, I jumped into iRacing, quickly got bored of Mazdas, and went straight into GT3 racing. Right after buying the car, I joined a league, and I've been documenting my progress ever since. So far, it's been going really well. This particular race though, was pure chaos. The league is trying to make things more realistic, so they introduced a new system they were testing. And let's just say the testing didn't go as planned. What was supposed to be a maximum of 2 safety cars in this 90-minute race somehow turned into 3. You'll see exactly what caused it at the end, as I have a pretty good idea what happened, as I was slightly involved in it, but that's for later on. Anyway, I've been chasing 2 goals ever since day 1 in this league. Number 1 has been always to finish in the top 3 in the championship, and right now I'm actually well in contention for it. The second one was win at least 1 race in my class. I have come so close in previous rounds, getting 2nd and 3rd places, so I was really hoping this one could be finally the one, but spoiler alert, the chaos had other plans. And if you haven't already read or seen or recognized the track we were on, we're in Virginia for this round 8. The lap you're seeing right now is actually my qualifying lap. I managed to put the car 9th overall in the GT3 field. Not the best, but definitely not the worst either. Alright, let's jump into the race now. Alright, so we're on the formation lap right now, heading through the few final corners until we're green. However, I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit because I kind of recorded a bit too much of the formation lap. Think of it as just taking a scenic route right before the chaos kicks in. So just enjoy the ride. And finally, we're green. I didn't get the greatest launch off the line, but I was quicker than the McLaren next to me, so I went for the inside. I thought I'd have enough space, but he didn't leave me as much room as I expected. I had to slow down pretty hard, and I think I got a slight bump from behind. Luckily, there was no damage, so we just continued on. Now, so far the opening corners have been pretty clean, but that didn't last for long. The next corners, I call them mini Suzukas, is where the chaos really started. one driver slips and immediately hits the barrier. That's our first incident of the race. Lap 1. Then going to the bigger Suzuka style corners, the car behind us loses it completely and slides across the entire track. Yikes, man. Alright, back to my onboard. The McLaren in front just gets too aggressive with the throttle out of the corner and just throws it away. Yikes again, man. Anyways, we're expected to cross the line 10th overall in the GT3 field. Now, here's where things get important for later on. As we approach the end of lap 1, I slightly go off the curb in the last corner and pick up an incident point. In this league, you're allowed a maximum of 17 incidents. If you go past that, you earn yourself a drive to penalty. And as you've probably already seen the spoiler from my overlay, I end up with 18, so every incident point here matters for me. But that's until much later on in the video. For now, let's fast forward to lap 4. Here you can see the delta. I'm steadily shaving off time of the 3 drivers ahead of me, and they all happen to be in the same class as me. Meaning, if I could get past these guys, I'm into the lead in my class. And lap 4 is exactly where I finally get my chance to make my move on one of them.
Mustangs, Battle of the Mustangs with Welsh in the Porsche. Now looking on the inside, there's an overtake opportunity there for Welsh, and he's going to make it on Oak Tree. What a great inside overtake for Welsh, using the Porsche's advantage with the rotation, and he moves up into second position for the Priams, but it's not over yet. The Mustang is going to have the better run down towards Roller Coaster. He has slightly better top speed. The Porsche behind a Viraggio is going to have a slight bit of slipstream as well. But there we see Zach Shepard reclaiming that position. However, it depends on who's going to have the inside lines there, and Zach Shepard is able to navigate up in front. Unfortunately, the Porsche just not having the legs to beat the Mustang on the back straight.
Yeah, that Mustang, the old freedom horsepower there, coming downhill on that back straightaway at Virginia there. That's that's a pretty easy overtake for that, with that amount of horsepower advantage he's got there. Looks like Arroyo's gonna try to do a little slipstream and pass him, Walsh himself, which he did, got it done.
After successfully overtaking the number 67 Porsche of Welsh, I am now up to P3 in my class and chasing down the number 33 Mustang of Shepard and the leading Mustang of Volpe. And here's the crazy part. Volpe has 4 years of experience in iRacing and Shepard has 11. And I've been only sim racing for 3 months. I was out here battling guys with way more seat time than me, and it felt amazing. And I quickly caught up to Shepard and got a great opportunity to make my move.
I would still go pick them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing as well is that Arroyo just losing out to Shepard.
Look at him.
Yeah, he just lost out to Shepard, but now he moves up and back into second. So now he's chasing onto Volpe for second in the Prime Championship. So that's a great work done by.
However, a lap after overtaking him, something critical happens.
So he's only been iRacing like 3 months. So, I've given him a hard time at some point in time during the season about some stuff that he did, or whatever. But then when I found out how long he's been iRacing, and he's really, really practicing hard, you can tell, because he's making big gains. I mean, David Volpe is no joke, and he's staying right on the back of Volpe, and Volpe is fast. Zach Shepard is fast.
With a full course yellow, it seems, though.
Now, due to the safety car, everyone has to make the big decision, pit or stay out. I decide to pit, and it looks like most of the grid also comes in with me. Remember, at this point we're battling for the position right behind the number 3 Mustang in our class. Now, as we exit the pits, I'm right behind the Mustang. However, unexpected, Aston Martin comes in. He's a lap down and you can see the side of his car saying number 21. So although we didn't lose any position in the standings, we did lose one spot on track. Not ideal, but we just have to deal with it. Right after the pit though, something bad happens that basically foreshadows the nightmare coming my way just in the same lap later on. Now, safety cars cause many accidents in sim racing as many people start braking harder than expected. I brake, then there's even more braking. I almost collect the Aston Martin right in front of me. Luckily, we avoid contact. For now. That same lap, as we're heading down the long straight, the Aston suddenly brake checks me. I'm already braking from earlier, but I can't stop in time. I slam in the back of him, and at the same time, I get hit from behind. My steering wheel is completely slanted. I got massive damage, and the car is a handful. Let me just replay that for you real quick. You can see I was already braking right before the brake check. I even went to 100% brake pressure, but there was nothing I could do. Then the guy behind me piles into. P.S. I did apologize to the Aston Martin driver for hitting him, and he was actually pretty cool about it. But that goes past us now. As we approach the restart, I get a little loose and try to catch it, but I can't. I'm suddenly facing the wrong way on track. Thankfully, I managed to rejoin safely, but that small slip cost me a few positions. And now we meet a new critical character in the story, the number 9 Lamborghini. And as you can already see, he's blinking massively. In my opinion, it's harder to pass someone who's constantly blinking than someone who's faster or slower than you. As we hit the first set of corners after the restart, the Aston Martin we hit earlier glides out properly from the damage we caused. Another Aston Martin is defending hard, but he rides the curbs too much and ends up perpendicular across the track. Now, as we approach these fast, long moving corners, you can see how I have to slow down significantly because of my car being super unstable here. So much so that the Aston Martin we saw slide across the track on the restart is now right up to us and overtaking us. Even as we approach the end of the straight, I brake in my normal braking zone and I still almost hit the Aston Martin again. This car is in real bad shape now. A lap later, it gets even worse. I almost lose control completely, but I zigzag my way out of it and somehow regain control. The only reason I haven't pitted for repairs yet is because of the new safety car system the league is testing. I'm just sitting here hoping and praying for another safety car as soon as possible. And my prayers get answered. A new safety car is deployed. Now on lap 15, with the car basically undrivable, I don't hesitate and I dive straight into the pits for the safety car stop. Thankfully, this time we exit the pits cleanly with no surprise cars or incidents in the way. However, as we exit the pits, a new problem appears, and it's not just from fresh tires. Because of the safety car being so slow, we can't get any heat into the tires. Cold tires on the restart make everything way more sketchier, and it leads to even more accidents if you don't catch the slice fast enough. Now, on lap 17, the second restart begins. Going into the first set of corners, I deliberately slowed down to avoid getting caught up into any more incidents. Thankfully, I survived the chaos. But moving forward into lap 18, we get absolutely ambushed. There are cars everywhere. We see someone rejoining from the grass, then an Aston Martin coming from behind, and we just touch pure bumper car action, but luckily no big crash. And then there's another driver completely off the pavement on the grass, taking what I guess he thought was the optimal line. Probably took some inspiration from the Gran Turismo movie. Back to my battle. I'm now side by side with the Aston Martin. He has the inside line, brakes perfectly and secures the spot. Meanwhile, a very eager number 8 Porsche right behind me is trying to attack. But while he's pressuring me, he loses so much time that the Ferrari behind him easily overtakes him. Because I was offending, my exit speed is also compromised, and now that lap Ferrari is attacking me. He's side by side with the Aston Martin that just passed me, until the Aston Martin touches the grass, loses control, and slides across the track. The Porsche is still trying to get by me, but there's simply no room. We close the gap again. By lap 19, I'm sitting in P13. Going into lap 20. At the first corner, the Ferrari passes the blinking number 9 Lamborghini. I point this out because the Lamborghini is in P18, a lap down, but he's actually a higher I rating than me. That's one of the best things about leagues. You get to learn from more experienced, higher rated drivers. Next time I'm in a similar situation, I can use what I see here. Moving forward, the Porsche is still right alongside me, still fighting for position. We're both stuck behind the blinking number 9 Lamborghini. Then a crash happens ahead. I can't go left because the Porsche is next to me, so I had to just slow down and hope it's enough. And somehow it is. I scraped through. That moment right there is exactly when the unexpected third safety car comes out, which I believe is the main cause of the whole mess. From this point on, the chaos really starts to brew, and even commentators were calling it out. Now, as the safety car gets deployed on lap 24, we're faced yet again with another tough decision: pit or stay out. I decide to stay out alongside 3 other drivers ahead of me, while the rest of the grid pits. It's a risky call, but with my race already going badly, I figured I had to try something different. As we line up for the third restart, I get a decent launch and pick up a strong slipstream on the car ahead. He takes the inside line and defends well, but it won't end up mattering. Keep an eye on his exits in upcoming corners. Going into the corner right before the long straight, he puts the car on the curbs, gets too aggressive with the throttle, and suddenly spins. Because of that, I'm now officially P1 in my class. However, we still have 2 cars ahead of me if I really want P1 overall. But then both of them pitted earlier than me, giving me temporarily P1 overall in the race. However, my time in P1 doesn't last long though. I have to pit for fuel on lap 33. It feels like I'm forever sitting in the pits watching everyone fly by. Finally, I rejoined and I'm back in P13. I quickly catch up to the number 55 Porsche of Jordan Cox. And easily pass him on the inside. But then on lap 39, I had made a simple mistake. I don't brake hard enough, run wide onto the grass, and have to rejoin, handing the position straight back to him. I catch right back up. This time, I get a better exit, pick on his slipstream on the long straight, and slip right past him on the inside line. However, disaster strikes once more. Remember, as I mentioned in the incident count, I make another small mistake, either not braking hard enough or my tires just giving up. My incident points jump from 16 to 17. That forces me to take a drive-through penalty, costing me the position I was fighting for with Jordan. As I exit the pits, you can see the bottom right overlay that I'm gaining a ton of time on the number 55 Porsche. Surely enough, he's in the grass. He must have lost control too. It's unfortunate for him, but regardless, I move up. Now finally, we're in lap 44. We come through the final corner and cross the line for the last time. I finished 12 out of 22 in the GT3 field and I believe 6 out of 12 in my class. It wasn't my best performance at all, but given how unstable the car was at sometimes, it was probably the best I could in that situation. The craziest part is that I actually had the pace to be very competitive. I even had a realistic shot at my first ever win. Chaos just had other plans. Still, it was raw and pretty fun regardless. Thank you so much for watching. A big thanks to Motormouth Broadcasting for letting me use their footage. A thank you to everyone in the league admins, and the drivers who made this race so fun and chaotic. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps a lot. And if you're not already subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button too. It will mean the world to me. I really appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to watch and support my channel, whoever you may be. And you better stay tuned because I got 2 big videos coming up. My full recap of the 12-hour iRacing Sebring experience with my team with no experience, and the grand finale of this league season. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again, guys, and bye for now.